Today's drug Argentum Metallicum, it belongs to mineral kingdom, common name for pure silver. It is a thirstless chilly remedy with left-sided affection. In patients requiring Argentum Metallicum, symptoms appear slowly, lingering, but they are progressing and deeply penetrating. Also, the pains gradually increase, become violent, and then suddenly cease. Pains are worse by touch and they are associated with polyuria. It is indicated when tissues are thickened, especially cartilages, tarsi. So, eyelids, ears, nose are affected, but larynx is predominantly affected. Also, the secretions of Argentum metallicum are thick, grey, or tenacious like boiled starch. Other general indications include emaciation, cancerous affection, there is mental weakness and physical prostration. On account of mental weakness, physical prostration lies down on account of tiredness and weakness. And also there is rawness in the body. There is loss of control over mind and body over the limbs, and the limbs feel powerless. There are also cramps in the muscles. Mind symptoms include hasty, hurried feeling, because of which he feels time passes very slowly. There is restless anxiety, which drives him from place to place. He is a deceitful person. Either the patient is talkative, changes subjects, or he is disinclined to talk. Forgetfulness. They are, as a rule, extremely forgetful. Their ability to think, reason, and memory is affected. They're anxious about the health. So, in short, they're restless, anxious, ill humored, forgetful, hurried, and disinclined to talk. It is adapted to businessmen, brain workers, students, and readers of all kinds. Also, the constitution, which is broken down with progressive emaciation, with a tendency to caries, cancers, and deep ulceration. As we saw, that the symptoms start insidiously, slowly, but they keep on lingering and progressing. It is a deep acting remedy where intellectual people are broken down with emaciation and suffer from pathologies like caries, cancer, and ulcerations. There is lack of vital heat. Now, complaints are from ill effects of onanism and sunstroke. Dictionary meaning of onanism is masturbation and coitus interruptus. So, there is constitutional effects of onanism. So, the sphere of action we already saw. So, nerves, it affects cartilages, especially of larynx, also affects bones, condyles, and joint structure. Then mucous membranes of genitourinary tract, left-sided ovary, and right-sided testes. Symptoms and pains we already saw. So pains are accompanied by polyuria. There is painless twitching or electric-like shocks and deep-seated trouble of the nerves. There is aggravation from using voice, speaking, singing, etc. Mental strain and sun. Amelioration by motion, coffee, and wrapping up. Argentum metallicum has a specific affection for larynx. So, either due to cold or due to overuse of voice, there is total loss of voice. Other indications are throat feels sore on coughing, talking, or singing. There is raw spot at the suprasternal fossa, which is aggravated by using the voice. Patient will point out and tell there is rawness felt here. Now, another key indications are expectorations, which is easy and aggravated in the morning, and laughing disturbs the mucus and it induces the cough. So, to read while reading, he has to hem and hawk. That is how he has to do it. So, the throat feels raw and sore with coughing and talking and singing. Laughing and talking aggravates the soreness in the throat, aggravates the cough, and it also disturbs the mucus and that induces the cough. Also, there is great weakness of the chest, impeding breathing, and aggravated talking or reading aloud. So, it is useful drug in hoarseness of professional singers and speakers and subacute and chronic laryngitis. Now, Argentum metallicum in joints. Saw it affects every part of the joint, be it cartilage or bone or joint, complete joint. So it is a useful drug in cramps, especially writer's cramps, arthralgia, exostosis of skull, and caries resulting from stricture or closure or atrophy of smaller blood vessels. So that is an osteonecrosis where Argentum metallicum can be indicated. Aggravation from descending the stairs. So even the calf muscles feel very short, they feel contracted while descending the stairs. Rheumatism, which is especially of the elbow and the knee, is aggravated in the cold, damp weather, better by warmth and motion, especially walking. So he keeps on walking to get amelioration. So these two modalities, descending the stairs and better by walking and warmth, will form a picture totality of Argentum Metallicum in joint complaints. In male and female complaints, the symptoms or the disease progresses to cancerous conditions. So chronic gonorrhea, which is yellowish greenish from an indolent character, will go into a cancerous condition. There will be impotence from onanism and there will be seminal emission without sexual excitement or erection. Similarly, in females, it is a very good palliative in serous of uterus as well as epithelioma. Now, epithelioma arises from the epithelial cells lining the cervix or endometrium. Serous of uterus also is from epithelial cells, but there is connective tissue or fibrous tissue predominance. And the presentation also would be in epithelioma, there will be ulcerative, proliferative cervical lesion along with bleeding and discharge, whereas serous of uterus may present with hard infiltrative uterine mass. These uterine disease is associated with pain in joint and limbs. It is also a good drug for leukorrhea, where there is eroded spongy cervix and foul excoriating leukorrhea and pain in the left ovary. Other indications, key indications include epileptic attacks are followed by delirious rage. Then pulse intermittent irregular during palpitation with cardiac unrest, and it is better by lying on left side, which is not a normal modality, and it is for heart beat irregularities, so heart stops and then trembles and then throbs again. Also indicated in diabetes, where there is associated swelling of ankles. Headaches of businessmen, when it is left sided with gradual increase and suddenly ceasing pains, and when the patient wants his head to be wrapped up, and mental work produces vertigo and headache. So in short, it is a chilly left-sided thirstless remedy with progressive emaciation and conditions going into cancerous affection, osteonecrosis, testicular tumors, epithelium of uterus, complaints which are lingering, slowly progressing, better by motion and wrapping up. Pains gradually increase, become violent and cease suddenly, aggravated by slightest touch, and concomitant is polyuria. Overuse of voice or cold causes hoarseness or total loss of voice, and there is cough which is aggravated by laughing. Rheumatism which is aggravated by descending stairs and better by walking, also helpful in writer's cramps. Limbs feel powerless. It causes thickening of cartilages, tarsi, larynx, and secretions are grey, thick, and like boiled starch. It is palliative in serous of uterus, and the uterine complaints are with joint pains. Good drug for chronic urethritis and diabetes, where there is increased profuse urine with swelling of ankles, and after the epileptic attack there is rage. This is all about Argentum Metallicum. Please like the video and subscribe the channel.